Sign.
You have to listen to me. There is no way to get rid of all your
Your perspective is most...
What's so funny? Don't you know you're harming people?
Harming people? That's what you believe?
What is up with him? He's being so calm and polite.
As you can see, Miss Yume Mizuki, all my psychological problems have been completely I must thank you for your attempts to diagnose my condition. But I see now that the truth is far simpler. All my misery was merely a consequence of human frailty. I could not hope to remove... I lived in fear and anger. Fear that I was not worthy of other people's attention. I became a slave to my emotions. They turned me into a wretched and loathsome creature, hostile to everyone. But things are different now. No longer will I be afraid. Never again will I be stirred to anger. No, I am filled now with only one emotion.
What I'm hearing is that you've developed your own unique understanding of psychological issues.
I would be delighted.
The first is a soldier with poor control of his temper. He flies off the handle too easily, and it gets him into all sorts.
He simply needs to let go of his anger. Then he will surely find peace and happiness.
The second is a fisherman who's developed thalassophobia. Now he is unable to provide for his family, which is causing him immense...
Oh, of course. He must cast his fear far away and forget it ever existed.
I'm sorry, but you're wrong on both counts.
Oh?
The soldier's anger is rooted in his strongly held principles. Yes, his rage can make him reckless, but it also fuels his deep desire to stand. Losing his anger made him passive and apathetic. He now stands by and does nothing as bandits attack innocent people. The fisherman's fear made him one of the most reliable sailors around, thanks to his cautiousness and diligence. But after forgetting his fear, he destroyed the fruits of the entire crew's labor on his first return to the sea. Fascinating, isn't it? Anger gives people the courage to stand up. Emotions are integral to human dreams. And after many years of dealing with their dreams, the negative emotions do not just go away. Not only that, but their presence is essential. So do you have any idea what you've done to those poor men?
What an amusing theory. In fact, I do remember those two. How can you believe that negative emotions are required for a healthy psyche? It's a laughable theory. Don't you remember how I was when we first met? You call that health?
Acknowledging that negative emotions exist, but if that balance gets disrupted, emotions start working. The person you were when you first came to my practice only proves this further. You were dominated by your emotions. Under their influence, you deliberately inflicted pain on other people. This diagnosis is going to sound harsh, but I'm afraid you've simply gone from one extreme to another. You say you've reached perfection, but you're just as dysfunctional.
I will forgive you for this offense, because I know my present... You once told me that nightmares are the result of a buildup of negative emotions. Clearly, that proves that all of my negative emotions have been definitively eradicated.
I'm afraid not. Look where we...
What?
No wonder! Paimon knew something was up the moment we arrived!
The enemies that we encountered were manifestations of his negative emotions. That can...
No, that can't be.
That entity claimed it could remove your negative emotions. But all it did was separate them and store them deep in your... Your situation is far worse than that of the other victims. It has deceived you at a much deeper level.
How laughable. Fear? No. There is no fear left in me. This is all...
Something's appeared behind him.
So, my arch-nemesis has seen through my trickery. Clearly, you came prepared. The emotional cocoon...
So it is you.
What is that?
A nightmare monster. A fearsome yokai that was once the bane of Inazuma. We Yumekui Baku eat the nightmares of humans, while they called those nightmares their home. So we were natural enemies. When I heard the traveler recount that strange dream, I knew that this was a possibility, but it's still a shock to see one of our long-lost arch-enemies in the flesh.
Then allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is Kurayume.
Kurayume. That's a name I haven't...
Likewise, Yume Mizuki is a name that takes me back to a different age. Although I must say, we may... Ultimately, the fall of the nightmare monsters was the fault of our host. But now, I have found a way to revive my...
Oh no! We've got to catch up to him!
What's happening? Haimon's feeling dizzy all of a sudden.
That's the feeling of rejection. It's so strong. Quick! After him!
There he is! Right there! Whoa! What happened to all the paths?
He's repressing his emotions even harder.